So hell may have just frozen over, but it looks like the New York Mets general manager search may finally be coming to an end after a long few months. So the Mets search for a general manager and a president of baseball operations has been like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Or if you're the Mets, because everything's pain, probably trying to find one piece of hay in a stack of needles. It's been reported by Ken Rosenthal that the New York Mets have offered the GM position to former Angels general manager Billy Eppler. So I'm going to tell you right now all you need to know about Eppler. Billy Eppler began his career and was actually within the Yankees front office working under Brian Cashman. That was until he was hired as the Los Angeles Angels GM in 2015. First, let's start with the good that Eppler did in Los Angeles. During his time as GM of the Angels, Eppler was able to give Mike Trout his contract extension of 10 years and also was able to land the AL MVP Shohei Ohtani. Alright, I may have jumped the gun, but we all know it's going to be Ohtani. Eppler also made a couple of savvy trades. He acquired Andrelton Simmons, which at the time I hated because the Angels are desperate for pitching and they sent Sean Newcomb to the Braves, but so far the jury's out. Meanwhile, Simmons was very productive during his time with Anaheim and even came around with the bat a little bit. He also brought in Tommy La Stella as well as Dylan Bundy, who's had a revival to his career. Eppler also acquired Martin Maldonado, one of the best defensive catchers in baseball, and ended up trading him to the Astros and acquired a pretty good pitching prospect in return in Patrick Sandoval. Eppler was also inheriting a very weak farm system, one that didn't have first-round draft picks in 2012 or 2013. Eppler was able to infuse some new talent into that farm system, including Joe Adell, Brandon Marsh, Griffin Canning, Kyron Paris, and Reed Detmers. Angels manager Joe Madden, who worked with Eppler for only 1 year, said he thought he was one of the most honest and easy to work with people in baseball and had a great eye for scouting. So that was the good. Let's now go into the not so good. First of all, I'm not going to bury the lead. The Angels didn't make the playoffs one time in Eppler's 5 years. And one of the biggest reasons for that, as always with the Angels, is they refused to add starting pitching. The Angels did fall on some bad luck experiencing injuries in their rotations, but even when that happened, Eppler failed to add any frontline starting pitching in the offseason. Guys like Dallas Keuchel, Jay Happ, Zack Wheeler. He also even had a chance at Garrett Cole, who's from Orange County in California, as well as Steven Strasburg before he re-signed with the Nationals. Instead, Eppler opted for revival projects like Matt Harvey and Trevor Cahill and Julio Teheran, mostly with no success. The next most egregious move by Eppler was signing Justin Upton to a 5-year, $106 million deal. After acquiring him at the 2017 trade deadline, Eppler was in a rush to re-sign the free agent Upton. They did that for 5 years, $106 million, and it is just not worked out for them. Also, maybe a little known fact, but the Angels actually had Kirby Yates on their roster. Yates, a journeyman at the time, cracked the Angels roster but got just one appearance before being released. The Padres picked him up off waivers, and the rest is history. He's one of the best closers in baseball. Now, in Eppler's defense, I have to say he inherited a mess from former GM Jerry Dipoto. Dipoto had just signed Albert Pujols to his mega contract, a guy on the decline. He still had Josh Hamilton on the books, as well as Jared Weaver and CJ Wilson. He had limited budget flexibility and a really bad farm system that he was taking over too. Eppler also had to work under a notoriously difficult owner in Artie Moreno, who loves to throw his weight around and make decisions on his own. So for me, I don't think it's really fair to judge Eppler solely on the fact that he wasn't successful with the Angels. Eppler was not on my radar entering the offseason, and he's definitely not my first choice, but he's a baseball lifer who's worked under Brian Cashman and has held the general manager position before. So now that the Mets have offered him the position, I don't really have a problem with it if he ends up accepting. The Mets have a lot of issues that they need to work out, and personally, I kind of want a guy that's been in baseball in the last few years and knows what's going on around the league. So guys, what do you think? Do you want the Mets to hire Billy Eppler as the next general manager? If not, who would be your first choice as the GM of the Mets? And what should be the first order of business for the next Mets general manager? And guys, stay tuned for my upcoming video later this week where I give you my predictions for the top free agents of 2022.